morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. I would like to thank the Korean Association for Lifelong Learning Cities, the Korean National Commission for UNESCO, and all other partners for organizing this conference. I will make a short presentation on UNESCO's fourth global report on adult learning and education, leaving no one behind. Grade 4 was published and launched in December 2019. It is based on a survey that was conducted in 2018, where 159 countries responded. The survey monitors the Belém Framework for Action and the recommendation on adult learning and education. The key messages of this report are: participation in ALE is uneven. In 1/3 of countries, fewer than 5% of adults participate in adult learning and education. Women's participation is growing. The major constraint are poor data. Progress in policy and governance is insufficient. ALE is underfunded. Quality is improving, but not enough. Deep inequalities in participation persist, and vulnerable groups are still excluded. 2030 agenda will only be achieved when ALE is in the center of all countries' efforts. Now some key messages, some information on key messages. The largest increase in participation since 2015 was for women. 59% of 139 member states mentioned this, followed by unemployed adults. 54% of 134 member states mentioned this increase, and adults with lack of education and skills. 48% of 136 member states mentioned this increase. Member states reported the lowest changes in participation for adults with disabilities, for older adults, and for minority groups. Poor data is a major barrier to monitoring inequalities in ALE participation. Thus, 46 countries did not show any data on participation. Grade 4 recommends a higher investment in collection and monitoring of data. ALE remains underfunded, as 19% of countries spend less than 0.5% of the education budget on ALE. 14% spend less than 1%. However, Korea does not follow this trend. The Korean Ministry of Education has allocated an increasing portion of its budget to lifelong vocational training since 2014. Following grade 4 in 2014, the budget was 538 billion South Korean won, which was raised to 619.5 billion in 2017. New national agendas were adopted in lifelong education, including the lifelong education voucher. And a big sum was invested in support of the National Center for Lifelong Learning Education promotion for the disabled, as well as in other projects. 57% of countries report progress in quality in literacy and basic skills and continuing training and professional development. And 36% of countries report no participation in citizenship education. Grade 4 recommends a range of tools to increase and widen participation. These are interventions and provision, focused investment, particularly on the least advantaged, interventions to raise demand, financial incentives to reduce cost barriers, and ensuring effective information. We hope that grade 4 is a wake-up call. We are in a point where we are not on track, but we are still within time for realizing the 2030 development agenda, Sustainable Development Agenda. So grade 4 is a call for action. to put AIL at the center of efforts to achieve sustainable development societies and recognize its key role in developing integrated, holistic solutions to the problem we face. Thank you.